Welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, where we build confidence beyond the scale. Because it's not just about weight loss. It's about quieting the negative self-talk of your inner mean girl and learning to trust yourself, to do things in a way that actually works for you. It's about feeling confident in who you are, in what you do, and living a life you truly love. No more shame, no more guilt. Quieting your inner mean girl changes everything. I'm Abby Hegney, a board-certified health and life coach. After struggling with my body for over 20 years, I realized it was never me. It was always that voice inside my head. Now I feel healthier and more confident than ever, and I've helped over 100 women do the same. Each week, we're going to dive into honest conversations, powerful mindset shifts, and practical tools to help you quiet your inner mean girl and build real confidence and start living a life you genuinely love right now. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 104. I want to dive right into this episode today because I think it's a really important message to share with you. And I think that for anyone who is struggling to lose weight or to keep it off, or is struggling with consistency or feeling more confident in their own skin, this could very well be the reason. And that's this idea of being a quote unquote good student. I didn't realize how much of an impact this had on me when I was struggling with my body and when losing weight and actually being able to keep the weight that I lost off and feeling confident in my own skin felt so hard. I was working so hard to be the good student, to do everything right, to stay on track. And it's why I struggled for so long. I see this so clearly now. It was the thing that was making it so much harder than it needs to be. And lately, I have noticed this same good student mentality creeping into other areas of my life. I have noticed how it can make things feel hard and complicated and overwhelming. I have witnessed the even somewhat subconscious pulling back, the need to do things right. And I've noticed a lot more doubt creeping in. I've noticed that there is an increase of shoulds and shouldn'ts. And I have felt the frustration of thinking that I'm doing all of the things, and yet I can't seem to understand why I'm not seeing the results that I want to be seeing. And because I have done a lot of work in quieting my inner mean girl when it comes to my body and my weight and food and movement, I've been able to catch this good student mentality that's been creeping in. But doing things differently hasn't been as easy. Because as good students, we tend to think in absolutes, right? A plus B equals C. There's a problem and there's a solution. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And with it comes this sneaky story of our inner mean girl that there is something that we are supposed to do, a path that we are supposed to follow, a way in which it's supposed to be. And anything outside of that doesn't really make sense to our good student mind. It feels wrong. And so we stay the course. We stay on the path that we think we are supposed to take. We do the things that we think we are supposed to do, no matter how hard that may feel, no matter how much it doesn't actually work for us. And as much as we are putting in the work, it often feels like we aren't making progress, which is the most frustrating feeling in the entire world. To feel like you are working so hard and you're doing all the right things, and yet it also feels like you're not getting anywhere. So, I wanted to bring this here today in the hopes that number one, it allows you to see that nothing has gone wrong. So much of our lives have been spent being conditioned to be the good student, to get it right, to not make mistakes, to work really hard at something. For so many of us, being the good student meant spending a lot of time and putting in a lot of effort striving for perfection, which was simply masked as a good grade. So if any of this resonates with you, don't use it against yourself. Don't let your inner mean girl start telling you that you've been doing it all wrong or that you should have seen this earlier or any of the other negative self talk that may come up with this realization. Instead, I want you to know that you are not alone. Far, far from it. And I hope that this episode helps you to let go of some of the frustration and to see how much of that frustration has nothing to do with you or what you are capable of or what's possible for you, and so much more to do with how you thought it needed to or is supposed to be. And most importantly, I hope that this episode empowers you to step outside of the rules, to get off of that narrow path of being a good student and to give yourself permission to do things differently, to show yourself that it doesn't have to be so hard, even when that feels like the hard thing to do. Because for us good students, doing things differently than the way that we've come to believe they need to be done or the way that we think they should be done will feel hard. It will feel like we are doing it wrong. But if you are willing to quiet your inner mean girl and move through the discomfort that you may feel of being the quote unquote bad student, it can be the most freeing experience of your life. And if you know that you have been in this space, if you hear this message and you know that you are caught up in being a good student, I want to invite you to come work with me. I want to invite you to spend 6 months letting go of the rules, paving your own path, and feeling completely supported every step of the way. So when your inner mean girl wants to pull you back in, you have someone anchoring you to the future, to what you really want, to the habits that work on even your busiest days, to the weight that you want to lose for good, and confidence that expands beyond the scale. I want to invite you to schedule a free consultation. Let's talk about what your path forward could look like, letting go of being the good student. You can find the link to schedule your consult in the show notes. So you can go there now, you can go there after this episode, but go there and schedule your call. I want to share with you 4 specific ways in which being a good student kept me from losing weight for good and feeling confident in my body. The first of which is that when we are focused on being a good student, there is a core belief that there is a right way to do things. There are right things to eat. There's a right way to work out. There's a right amount of time that we should be working out and a right number of days per week that we need to work out. We even tend to create a right timeline in which we should see the results that we want to see. And there is a right checklist of things that we need to do in order to create those results. And what I found being the good student is that I would work so hard on all of these things. I would work so hard on being good, doing it right, checking all the boxes, but eventually I would step off course. I would miss a day. I'd eat something that was off the plan that I was following. I'd find myself snacking when I wasn't hungry, or I just maybe didn't feel like doing what I was supposed to do that day. And instead of recognizing this as being a normal human being who is not supposed to be perfect, or to see that there were elements of the plans and the rules that I was trying so hard to follow that just didn't actually work for me, I would start thinking I messed up. I'd feel like a failure. And then my inner mean girl would be right there to tell me that I couldn't do it. And I'd go down this path of negative self talk that would reinforce the identity of someone who can't. Someone who can't stick with anything, who can't lose weight, who can't feel confident. And every time, without fail, that I messed up, I would think that I would fail, or I would think that I had failed. And I would tell myself that I needed to start all over again. Nothing makes your journey feel harder than thinking that you have to start all over again, than feeling like you are back at zero. And I think the biggest thing about being a good student and thinking that there is a right way to do things was that it kept me from learning what actually works for me. And I want you to think about if you're doing this too. Is the way that you see as the quote unquote right way to do things built around your life? Or is it the way that worked for someone else? Someone else's body, someone else's time, someone else's life. When I work with my clients, we put all of this aside. We create a plan that is built around their life. Because the only way that lasts is the way that is right for you, for all of you, for your body, your time, your schedule, your life. And we can't get that from doing what we think is right because it worked for someone else. We can't get that from trying to be a good student and striving for perfection. We've got to break the rules. We've got to let go of the way that it's supposed to be, the way that we formulate it in our own mind. We've got to be willing to try things and to mess up and to know that our healthiest, most confident self is built upon all of the things that we try, the things that we find work and we keep doing, and the things that we realize didn't work for us and that we had to pick ourselves back up from and keep on going. Which ties me to the second way that being a good student kept me from losing weight for good and feeling confident in my body, which is spending a lot of time researching, studying, preparing. I would spend so much time reading about what to do and what not to do. I would spend so much time researching the right way and the perfect plan. I'd have piles of meal plans and workout routines, and it all felt like I was making progress, right? I felt like I was getting ready. I was doing the work. I was doing all of the right things. But the reality is, it was a lot of time and energy spent on doing things that didn't actually move me forward in any way. In the time that I spent researching, learning, preparing, I could have been taking action. I could have been doing things I thought maybe this will work for me. Let me try this. I could have been taking steps and allowing it to be a little messy and to be uncertain. But instead, I was focused on doing it right. I was focused on being the good student. Even I catch myself sometimes when I'm thinking about these podcast episodes. Sometimes I find myself spending so much time thinking about what to say and how to say it. And I hear my inner mean girl popping up telling me, well, I shouldn't say it that way. And so I spend more time thinking about, well, how should I say it? Just wanting to get it right, which is funny because it's my podcast. But when you're a good student, that doesn't matter. There's still a thought that there is a right way. And yes, I want to be thoughtful with every single one of these episodes because I want every single one of them to have the power to change your life for the better. But sometimes in the overthinking and the over researching and the over preparing, we miss the entire point, which is to just start doing, just start taking action. Follow your gut, be willing to learn and willing to fall down. Quiet your inner mean girl, get really good at picking yourself back up and continuing on. Move through the doubt and the fear. Know that the doubt and the fear will always be there. But the more that you show up, the more that you move through them, the quieter they get. Let yourself let go of the should do's and the have to's and the need to's and have the courage to walk your own path, to be the woman who believes in herself and stays committed to what she wants. Sometimes the most powerful things that we can do or say or steps that we take come from this place of courage, come from this place of being willing to be uncertain, to be unsure, to be messy. Most of us overconsume and underaction. In order to lose weight for good and to create habits that feel effortless to maintain and to build confidence beyond the scale, we have to flip that script. We have to action more and consume and research and overthink less. The third reason that being a good student kept me from losing weight for good and feeling more confident in my own skin was because I feared failure. And I think that this is really woven throughout all four of the ways that being a good student kept me stuck and spiraling for so long. But I wanted to call it out specifically because I do think it's really important. Because for those of us that are good students, I don't think that there is anything that we fear more than failure. And it holds us back. It keeps us from starting before we feel ready. It forces us to play small. We aren't willing to try things that are outside of the norm because we're so afraid that they won't work. It increases the stories of our inner mean girl. Stories like, I don't know if that'll work. I'm not ready yet. I'll get to it someday. I don't know how. Or simply, I don't know. And when our inner mean girl is loud, we shrink back into the comfort of what we know, the way that we have been doing things, the habits that are familiar, even when they don't work, even when we want to change them. We easily slip back into them because they're comfortable. They're easy, they're safe. And at the same time, they keep us stuck. It is okay to not want to fail, but we can't let the belief that we will fail stop us. We have to be willing to take failure off the table. The only way that we can ever really fail is if we don't give ourselves the opportunity to see it all the way through. So think about that. Remind your inner mean girl when she's scared of failing, remind her, let her know that you're okay. Because the only way that you can fail is if you give up. And you're not going to give up. You refuse to give up. You're taking it off the table. That is the truth. And the last way that being a good student kept me from losing weight for good and feeling confident in my own skin was associating success, pride, confidence, happiness with getting there. Most of us good students don't feel good until we have the A, until we achieve the thing that we set out to achieve, until we get there. The problem with this is that it makes it feel far away. And when we think about getting there as the reason that we'll feel good, as the reason to be proud, or the reason to celebrate, or the reason to feel confident, we miss so many opportunities to celebrate ourselves, to build momentum and motivation all along the way. When things feel far away, it feels so much harder to achieve it. And we end up devaluing so much of the work that we've put in and the progress that we've made. This is a big piece of the work that I do with my clients. They will be losing weight, and it does not matter how much they have lost. They will say to me, yeah, but I'll be happy when I lose 5 more pounds, or I lose 10 more pounds, or when I hit my goal. They will tell me that for the first time, it doesn't feel so hard. And at the same time, they'll tell me, yeah, but I'll see what it feels like when I hit my goal. I'll see how good I feel then, or I'll see if I can keep it going. They take every opportunity they have to celebrate and they turn it into an opportunity to doubt themselves. I have even seen this with my clients who lost more weight than they initially wanted to lose. And because it has felt easier than any time they've tried in the past, they have pushed their goal. They have decided that they wanted to lose an extra 5 or 10 pounds. And even when they have hit their original goal, they'll tell me, I'll feel good when I lose a little bit more. This has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with being conditioned to be a good student. It has everything to do with the stories of their inner mean girl that come along with being a good student. Doing it right, feeling ready, being prepared, fearing failure, striving for perfection, achievement, results, getting there. When it comes to my body and habits, eating, exercising, taking care of my body, feeling confident in who I am and what I do, I've learned to quiet my inner mean girl. I've learned to let go of the rules and the good student mentality and doing it the right way. And I have found what works for me. I have seen how valuable it is to let that all go and to write your own rules and forge your own path. But when it comes to this podcast and to other areas of my life, I'm still unlearning some of it. I'm actively working to unlearn the good student mentality because I can find myself getting caught up in it. But I know how beneficial this work is. I have seen how it has felt and how it has changed the way that I live my life and the way that I take care of my body and the things that I do and the words that I speak to myself. And I know that this is the work, and I know that it's worth it. If any of this resonates with you, I know that this is what is making it so much harder than it needs to be. And I want to invite you to quiet your inner mean girl, to let go of the outdated rules, rules that never worked for you or for your life in the first place. I want to invite you to expand the path that you are on, to get curious about what works for you and excited to figure it out. I want to invite you to have fun along the way, Because when we are focused on being the good student, we forget to have fun. All of the bad students are going to the parties. They're living their lives. They're experiencing life, right? They're out having fun. And us good students, we're over here studying, trying to be perfect. We're making it so much harder than it needs to be. And I want to show you that we can have both. We can lose weight, we can build confidence, we can create habits that make us feel really good, we can feel healthier and stronger than we ever have, and we can have fun along the way. We can do that and still enjoy all of our favorite things. We can create it all and live the life that we love. This is a no rules summer, my friends. Come see that it's possible to feel good in your body without the rules, without the need to be the good student, and watch how much your life will change. All right, I will talk to you next week. If you are ready to quiet your inner mean girl and build confidence beyond the scale, I want to invite you to schedule a free consultation using the link in the show notes. Let's take this work even deeper. And if you loved this episode, please rate and review this show and share it with a friend. It means so much to me, and it helps even more women quiet their inner mean girl and build confidence beyond the scale.